Okay guys, welcome to my channel Spiritual Energy. Today I'm going to be giving a reading for the full moon. Because what was being stagnant in there, I feel like I keep flip-flopping. So it says have faith in your dreams. So whatever you're looking forward to right now or that you've been trying to manifest, it's like grab something that you can physically hold on to that's going to remind you of this thing, so that way you're not in a consistent mode of kind of flip-flopping back and forth. Okay, I know that's how God reads the cards. Let's go. Be bold and make the first move. Thank you, God. It's a continual progression, okay? Be bold and make the first move. And he says even the tiniest steps can move the mountains, okay? So we're talking about it's time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio. And the last two cards that are popping up are a personal issue reaches resolution and what do you need to release. Okay, thank you, God. He just simply says to put forth the effort to bring those things about. There's some things that need to be challenged at this time, so that way they can kind of clear and release themselves. He says let that go ahead and happen. 3 crystal cards. Let it go. Main one, smoky quartz. What ends up topsy-turvy? You also have feed your creativity and open your heart. Please push it. Get out of your comfort zone as well, okay? But you already have 2 cards. We have 2 cards. It's time to release negativity and letting go right up in here. And we also have another release. Open your heart, okay? Get out of your comfort zone. Press that movement forward. I was only going to take 3 crystal cards, and it was a not today type of thing. So, wild oracle card that's going to present itself will be but why do I hear this and I feel stuck? True offering. Give this up to God in contentment, okay? So everything that you are putting forth as a desire or wish to be fulfilled, offer that up to God and say, God, whatever ways that you can magnify this, because, hey, maybe I was led to doing being a content creator, right? But I just don't feel it flourishing as it should, or I just don't feel like I'm connecting with anything. God is like, well, you come to me, okay, and see what your true purpose is with this content creation. It might not be to follow the trends of everybody else. I need you to speak differently. I need you to do this differently. I need you to stand out in this way. So he's saying, go ahead and call on me, okay? And then contentment. You can learn to rest in what you already have. And guess what he just said? Who you already are. And what you have and who you already are. Right? Which correlates back to this of him saying, hey, you got everything you need. Call upon me so I can tell you what your gifts are, where I can break out what truly needs to be said in this process. And suddenly you remember, I'm right here resting in God. Okay? So these 2 cards. Don't pack everything up. I got to pack it up slowly so that we have room for this next set. Okay, if you've resonated so far within these, perfect. You can take this as it is. That we're going to get into a little bit more detail. So main thing, thank you, God, for these being on top. What do you need to release? Get out of your comfort zone and making sure that you are remembering to remain content and grateful, okay? Thank you, God. A sheer sense of gratitude. Card from off of the top. I am in sync with the flow of life. He says community, okay? Branch out to a community that is somewhat similar, but don't get too in depth with them. They're meant to be kind of like a relation, but it's not for you to think that you are underneath or lower in any ways within this group. It's just to have a sense of community. But you, thank you, God. He said you will be called to shine alone by yourself. Okay. Excuse me. I felt like I was gonna burp. Okay. For some, the 6 of Diamonds talks about some of y'all are going to be put in, what did he say at the very beginning? Okay, some of y'all are going to be put into something that is going to be a very uncomfortable releasing. Six of Diamonds talks about arguments, things that are being like disclosures. The King of Spades, somebody who's a little bit arrogant, and the Jack of Spades, a hostile person could be, but it's just somebody who, he said, remember, the tests and trials were going to lead to a releasing. Release this person, okay? And then he just said they come in many forms, all right? But it definitely needs to release, because we're moving on to this, the Ace of Clubs, the Ace of Hearts. Oh, what it, y'all seen that? I said it, y'all seen it. I said it, y'all seen it. I was saying this. I'm in, what? God? He said, I have never left you. I was feeling challenged for a little bit, guys, to be honest. And I was like, God, I don't feel the same feelings as I felt before. And he's like, regardless, I never left you. And I was like, okay, God. But I've had some amazing readings within the past 2 days that I've just been like, oh my gosh. It's been a breath of fresh air and like a boost. Just a boost, okay? So let's keep going. The Ace of Hearts. Thank you, God. A love lottery, actually, he said. It's like a love lottery, okay? Love and happiness within the home, wealth and prosperity that comes up with the Ace of Clubs that just could not wait to kind of shoot out of my mouth. So it's like everything is kind of rolling around, but he said, keep this in mind. This is small changes, but it is going to feel like you've started to hit the lottery. Whether that's been, I'm not saying full-blown jackpot prize, Powerball here. I'm talking about small wins like, oh my gosh, I won on this scratch off, okay? Something that you don't need to go, what do you call it, into that type of bank with, but it's gonna feel like small things that are progressing for you. Still very happy, which is why he goes back to saying being very content with these small changes, being very happy, because it is showing that things are progressing in a way that you are going to be able to feel like you can contain or be a little bit not in control in that way, but it leaves you with a good sense of understanding before it flows too heavily, okay? You also have the Seven of Hearts, which is being very mindful. Once you come up out of this situation right here and you're starting to get into this newness, you still want to be mindful of the things that you have learned in your past, okay? Because somebody cycles back around with having an unreliable interest in you. 3 cards that just kind of dove out. As having an unreliable interest in you, and you needing to be able to discern in that. Then we come up with the 6 of Hearts, which is a sudden wave of good luck. Ooh. Could be it's giving king energy, authoritative king energy. Could be an earth sign, but it's definitely somebody who is more stable and authoritative, okay? Thank you, God. They have a certain discernment or decree about them. And then you do have the divine timing card. So know that this is a very specific partnership that comes in for you that's just going to put you right into the flow. So I really do appreciate that. I did see the kind of 8 of Spades at the bottom of the deck. I really didn't want to see that. But thank you, God. He just said, once again, that's clarification. That's clarification on the things that need to be changed and settled up on. Do not wait to dissipate any type of energy that is negative or leading you to feel anything less than content with your life at this point. There is the 9 of Clubs that talks about achievement, another king energy, that's a little bit, thank you, God, it's a little bit more flirtatious with a very caring but stable authoritative stance, okay? And then we come in with the 5 of Spades. I'm sorry, the Four of Spades, which is a little bit of small worries, okay? And it's initially kind of thinking back to discernment on if this person is kind of the same way. But I would definitely say it's another one of those tests and trials where you just have to be on top of your P's and Q's, seeing if they're very similar to the person of the past or if they're moving in an opposite direction. There is the Ace of Spades that talks about changes, so it could be yet another major shift that you end up going through. Thank you, God, on top of everything else. Yeah, definitely a major change. They come in with the Four of Clubs that talks about deceit and dishonesty. Thank you, God. He said the same way that you can recognize somebody's love language, it's understanding this language of who's here for you and who's not, because you've had less of a discernment in the past when it came down to that, and it's really remembering, oh, I remember this equation, okay? I remember this setup from before. What goes flying to the left? Yeah, the Nine of Diamonds, which is restlessness, so movement. Pops out and pops back in. After all of this, definitely having a reset of cleansing your energy out each and every time you come across a new person, okay? That way, when it's time for God to kind of give you back your energy, you do have this discernment of, yeah, this person did make me feel like this. They either boosted my energy and I felt really confident about this growing friendship, or they lowered it down, and being able to say immediately, okay, that one's got to go. Okay? But to always remember to cleanse your energy. Yeah. And we're not just, thank you, God. He goes, we're not just talking about masculine energy solely, because we're left in after cleansing our energy with the Queen of Spades, which is somebody who has had a recent divorce, breakup, and not breakthrough. Breakup and not breakthrough, but somebody who is kind of seeing your new energy of trying to finally climb out of those well walls, wanting to reach a different point with desperation, the good kind of desperation for God and his offering. So trying to pull yourself up, trying to find a new way, and somebody who is just ready to kind of look out to destroy that, because they're not in that same position. And this is basically, thank you, God, a misery loves company card. They would rather love for you to be in misery with them than to see you making it out. So once again, once you're cleansing your energy, see who pops up next. That's all I want to say is every time you cleanse your energy, see, write down, mark it, who comes up next and what type of energy that they bring towards you. And like I said, once upon meeting this person, cleanse out your energy again, and thank you, God. He says you're going to either be within balance or feel very shifty in your energy, and that is your notion, your cue to move. And I'm saying moving away from this person, separating out your energy, saying there's no longer a connection because there's no more wasting time here. So I thank you guys so much for getting in on this full moon energy read. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of the likes and the new follows. Thank you to all my new subscribers and also the ones of the past who have been liking and commenting. So I do appreciate that. I'm trying to be more consistent. Okay, that's one of the keys for this cycle as well. I talk about it on my TikTok, so if you guys ever come on my live, I do free name card pulls over there, and I also do personal readings for $20 for like 20 minutes or more, just as long as we get it out there. As long as God gets out everything that he would love to get out, he wants to get out. But making sure within this cycle too, guys, as the dust is falling, as it's continuously falling, making sure that you're clearing the dust so that it does not remain stagnant on your life or begin to collect in a way where everything kind of looks old. Okay, so keeping up a constant refresher at this time. I love y'all so much. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.